Hey, Tubies! This is Bob Hickma. I tell you, I really am going crazy today. But I have a good time. You know, once you cross from sanity to insanity, it ain't so bad. Anyways, I am so glad you're here. You guys have just been amazing. So many of you have been writing such thoughtful comments on my videos. And, excuse me, I'm trying to address those. Thank you so very much. And you guys were wonderful. A lot of you came out to yesterday's video, which was on Ascension. It was about discussing Ascension spirituality. And you guys seem to really like that. And we're going to continue that today. And we're going to be doing that for the next few weeks. A lot of videos on Ascension. That's not the only thing we're going to do. We're going to have other stuff. But we're going to have a regular ongoing Ascension series. And, you know, some of you wrote to me, said, Sagi Bob, you know, I feel that I'm part of the Ascension. I feel that I'm growing. And I feel like there are people leading me, almost guiding me. I don't know who they are. Some of you wrote the other opposite and say, you know, since I've begun Ascension, I feel more alone than ever. Is there anybody to help me on my path? Well, absolutely. And for both of you, I'd say you're definitely being guided. In the Ascension process, Ascension helps you get in touch with, one, your inner self. It helps you get in touch with your higher power. And within all of that, there are numerous beings and guides to guide us along the way. And today I thought we would talk about one of the special guides that I find is very helpful for Ascension. This is, let me show you his picture, Lord Melchizedek. Can you guys see that? It's kind of hard to see with the glare. This is one of my pictures of Lord Melchizedek. He is an ascended master, and he is working with the Ascension process, and he's helping many people who are light workers along the way. Now, the ascended masters, well, there are many of them, so we're going to go through different ones. But today, Lord Melchizedek is important because he's one of the main people helping light workers. Lord Melchizedek has a whole range of activities. He's wonderful to invoke if you want to activate crystals. Now, as many of you know, I love to wear crystals. Here's one of my beautiful quartz pendants, and I brought this to Lord Melchizedek, and I asked him to empower it, that I would receive messages through it, and that it would help me. And you know what? He did it. Lord Melchizedek is a wonderful person. In fact, I want to read to you a little bit about Lord Melchizedek. Hold on a second. I'm going to put on my reading glasses. This is taken from the Complete Ascension Manual, and it's by Joshua David Stone, PhD. How to Achieve Ascension in This Lifetime. And he has an entire chapter here, chapter 21, called The Melchizedek Priesthood. I'm going to read a little bit from this. And this says, the Melchizedek priesthood has always been of great interest for me. I feel an incredible attunement and affinity with this group and teaching, but there's been very little available written information on planet Earth concerning them. Through my extensive research, I've been able to uncover some of the hidden mysteries of this most amazing group. Modern history knows of Melchizedek through the Old Testament, for it was Melchizedek who was the spiritual teacher of Abraham. This is clearly documented. Edgar Cayce, who was a famous psychic, by the way, in his channelings says that in one of his incarnations, Jesus Christ was a man named Melchizedek. It is important to understand here that there is a being who is Melchizedek, and there is the Melchizedek priesthood. When a person achieves spiritual illumination within this order, he is called a Melchizedek. The keys of Enoch describe the being in the spiritual worlds who heads the Melchizedek priesthood as the eternal Lord of Light, the sovereign of light in charge of organizing the levels of the heavenly worlds of Yahweh, God, for transit into new creation. Equal with Metatron and Michael, that's Michael the Archangel, in resourcing, regenesis, and re-education of worlds, going through the purification of the living light. He is in charge of the heavenly order, Brotherhood of Melchizedek, and the spiritual and planetary priesthood of Melchizedek. So, as you can see, Melchizedek has a kind of a big job in the spirit world. Now, I wanted to share with you about Melchizedek today because I also have a very long-standing and spiritual connection to this ascended master. Many, many years ago, back in the 1980s, when I was at university, I did a research paper on the New Age movement. Now, you remember back in the 80s, channeling, crystal magic, and the Ascension were really the rage. It was really, everybody was discovering it. And for one of my religion classes that I took at university, I was given the option to do a research paper on the New Age movement. I thought, well, this sounded good. I wasn't particularly aware of all the New Age at that time. It was still very literally new to me. But at the time, I interviewed a man who was a New Age practitioner, and he was a member of the Order of Melchizedek. And I saw his beautiful priesthood certificate on the wall, and I said, wow, this is really interesting. What is this? And he said, the Order of Melchizedek is a brotherhood, a priesthood of those of us who work with the light. We help bring light to the world. And I said, oh, is this like a Christian church or something? He said, no, it's not any one denomination. He said, it's the highest divinity. We work with the light that is beyond any specific religious name or title. I thought this was very intriguing because I thought, wow, that sounds very cool, because I was at that time not particularly enamored by, rigid religious structures. And I said, well, does one have to be Catholic or Baptist or any religion to be a member of the Order of Melchizedek? He said, no. He said, you simply have to be open to receiving channeled work from him and following his teaching of working with the light. And he told me then about Ascension. He said, the Brotherhood helps with the Ascension process. And I thought, well, that sounds really cool. So he said to me, he said, well, if you were interested, he said, I would be happy to ordain you into the Order of Melchizedek. Now, I was in my early 20s then, and I thought at the time, I said, well, I don't know, that sounds kind of intense. I don't know if I'm ready for that, and so I declined receiving an initiation into the order. Well, many years after that, probably 10 years after that, I was still studying spirituality, and I again came over information on the Order of Melchizedek. And at this time I thought, gee, now I'm ready. I feel like I really resonate with this. It was back in the 1990s. And I thought, I'm going to join the Order of Melchizedek. Well, interestingly, I started to research it. I could not find an order who would ordain me at that time, because one, they either wanted thousands of dollars to be a member, or you had to commit to like a 6-year cycle of classes and travel all the way across the country, And so every time I would encounter the order, I could never find anybody who would ordain me without a big trial, a lot of money, a lot of effort. Well, I remember at the time that this guy told me, he said, people should not charge for ordination into the Order of Melchizedek, because he said, if you're truly called to it, you'll know it in your heart, and when the time is right, you'll join. And he said, the teacher will appear. Well, so for many years I decided I wanted to join the Order of Melchizedek, but I could find nobody to connect me into the order. So basically I gave up on it. Well, in the last month, I ended up meeting a lady online who is an ordaining priest of the Order of Melchizedek. And I got in contact with her. And she said, Bob, she said, do you want to be a member of the order? I said, I've been trying to be a member since the 1980s, but it just hasn't worked out. So I've given up. I don't think I'm called to be a member of this order, even though I love its work. She said, well, I think you could be a member of the Order of Melchizedek. I said, well, I'm Wiccan. Does that make a big difference? She said, no, the Order of Melchizedek is open to all who believe in higher power and work with the light. I said, well, I believe in that. That sounds like me. So I was recently ordained into the Order of Melchizedek. Yep. So I want to come here and share that to you because this has been a many-year process for me. I have continually felt called by this ascended master, and at every turn he would appear and yet just be out of reach. Well, now I'm in his band. And let me show you here. This is one of the symbols of the Order of Melchizedek. One of the symbols of the order is the 8-pointed star. They have a number of symbols, but traditionally the Order of Melchizedek is connected through the 8-pointed star. So I don't know if you can see that. There's my 8-pointed star. Isn't that cool? So I wear that now as a sign of my membership in the Order of Melchizedek. Now, a lot of you are going to say, Psyche Bob, how do I become a member of the Order of Melchizedek? Well, let me tell you, part of what I'm able to do now is I became an ordaining priest in the Order of Melchizedek. And that allows me to grant initiations into the order. Now, let me explain it. There are 2 levels in Melchizedek. There's initiation and there's ordination. Ordination is a legal process. I don't grant legal ordinations at this time, but I can grant you initiation. And initiation means that you become a priest of Melchizedek and you work in your community in whatever way you feel called with the light in harmony with Melchizedek. Now, if you want to get ordained, that's a whole different legal process, and I'll have to explain that to you offline. You can get ordained through various orders. I'm already a legally ordained minister, so I don't need ordination through the Melchizedek order. But the Melchizedek order does recognize my ordination. So I can initiate you into the order, and you will be a priest of the Order of Melchizedek. I'm going to do another video on that in the coming weeks. I'm still getting stuff worked out on that. But if you're interested in that, let me know. As I said, I'll do another video. But today I wanted to come and introduce you to Melchizedek because many light workers feel that they need somebody to help them on the way. And Melchizedek is one of those people. In fact, I want to read you another passage here from this book. Hold on just a second. Here it is, and this says, the clearest definition of the Order of Melchizedek is that it is in charge of consciousness reprogramming that is necessary to link physical creation with the externalization of the divine hierarchy. The externalization, just so you know, of the divine hierarchy talks about bringing the ascended masters like Melchizedek more in touch with the world so that they're understood and people work with them. It is a royal priesthood that receives the voice of God for the sanctification of the people of light. The re-administration and teaching affect the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual states of existence and consciousness. The priesthood is visible within every generation, as a scattered brotherhood of light. It permeates the tree of the human race. The Order of Melchizedek has the anointing power to reawaken and resurrect the righteous people of the world into the light of the higher worlds. Anyways, I won't read it all, but that's just a little bit. So, anyways, I want to come here and share with you about my connection now to the Order of Melchizedek. And as I said, I will be offering initiations very soon. I am offering those for free because, you know, as I said, for many years I was denied the ability to work with the order because of money or time or whatever. But I'm going to be offering free initiations they're called attunements. The attunements will be done at a distance, so you don't even have to be with me. We're going to talk more about that. But anyways, for now, I want you to do some research on Melchizedek, and let me know in the box below if you've heard of him, do you know about him, have you worked with him, and would you be interested in joining the Order of Melchizedek as an initiate priest? Let me know, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Keep it here. We got more coming. Tomorrow is Friday, and we're going to talk more about crystals and crystals in the Ascension process. So make sure to be here. We'll see you then. Blessings to you all.